Now, in keeping with this theme of a museum, we're going to create a simple menu for the cafeteria. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Type tool and insert the Type cursor here in the middle of this text column. Now go ahead and press Ctrl+2 on Windows or Command+2 on the Mac to zoom to 200% so we can very clearly see this text that we're working with. As you can see here, we have a sequence of menu items on the left and prices on the right. Now many folks might be tempted to insert their cursor here and press the space bar enough times until everything lines up just as they like here on the right hand side. However, I've taken the liberty of inserting tabs into this text, so just select one of those characters, press the tab key, that's all it is, nothing special. Now we're going to use the tabs features of InDesign to actually format these tabs and give structure to this content. So start by going to the Type menu and choosing Tabs. This will open the Tabs panel, and by default it snaps to the top of the current text frame. Now if for some reason you cannot see the top of the current text frame, you might want to change the zoom or pan the document around a little bit. In some cases the Tabs panel might move and it won't line up. Now the Tabs panel will still work if it's not lined up, but for the sake of convenience, go ahead and click this little icon here. It looks like a magnet, and that will snap the Tabs panel to the top of that text frame. Let's go ahead and select these first 4 items and look up here in the Tabs panel. You can see that we have several different kinds of tabs. If you hover over them, you'll see the tooltips. There are left justified tabs, center justified tabs, right justified tabs, and then this 4th one is align to decimal. So we're going to look at how all of these work. To set a tab, you can just go ahead and click which one you want to use. I'll start with left aligned, and I'll click my tab character somewhere over here, maybe around 2 inches on this little ruler bar. And you can see that just with that click, the tabs now all align to what is called a tab stop. In this case, it's a left aligned tab, meaning all of these prices align to the left of the text. Now I can take that tab and slide it to the left, I can move it to the right, and I can also change the tab style. So for example, if I want all of these items to align on their centers, I would choose a center aligned tab or a right aligned tab. Now that right aligned tab might seem like a pretty good option, but I actually think there's one better. That is the decimal aligned tab. This way, regardless of whether the price of an item is $3 or $12 or $7.75, all sorts of different variations, all of the prices will actually line up on the decimal point. So I'm going to choose that option, the 4th option there, and I'm going to go ahead and slide that over to the right hand side here so that the prices line up very close to the right hand side of the frame. Now notice here in the top, the align on value by default for a decimal tab is set to a decimal. However, you can add other characters here. Maybe you'd want them to align to a dash or a hyphen or a dollar mark. It's really up to you. By default, it's the decimal. You can change it to whatever you want. Now, another field up here that's interesting is a leader. A tab leader is essentially filler material that makes it easier to see the connection between the left column and the right column. Frequently, folks will just add a period in here. Now I'll tab out of that field and click down here, and you can see the result there. It's a bunch of periods all strung together. Again, just a little visual cue from the left to the right side. Now sometimes a very tight line of periods there is actually a little visually overwhelming, and so you can actually add up to 8 different characters as a tab leader. Some other tab leaders, we could add a dash, we could add a plus mark. You can really add anything you want in there. Those last couple are a little bit of silly examples, but let's go ahead and add a period. But instead of just a period, let's add a period and a space and maybe another space. So we're actually using 3 characters there. Go ahead and tab out of that field to see the results. Now you have these periods spacing this out, but with 2 other spaces in between, giving it a little bit of breathing room. So you can see here that menus are a prime candidate for using tabs. Also, if you do any financial data, maybe annual reports, I think you can get a lot of mileage out of tabs with that kind of content as well. Now there's just one last thing to do here, and that is to understand that tabs are a paragraph attribute. So in this case, we have changed this paragraph. Let's go ahead and open the Paragraph Styles panel. You can see here that we had a style applied called Menu Contents, but now we have a plus mark indicating that there is an override. And if we hover our cursor over the style name, we can see that the override is actually the tabs that we've created. So instead of removing those tabs, we want to come up here to the panel menu and choose Redefine Style. So that will redefine the menu content style and add those tabs and the tab leaders to all of the other menu items with a single click. Let's take a look. Go ahead and close the Paragraph Styles panel, and InDesign has done all that work for us.